Hey there, and welcome to another video on Power Platform. This time around, we'll talk about chart components and the fact that they're able to visually show you interesting insights. So far, I've in other videos shown you how you can work with data, how you can collect data, how you can save data. Now it's time to present data in a visually appealing way. So why do we want to do that? Why do we want to have charts? Well, there are leaders who wants to make those key insights. So let me just show you quickly a demo here that I built, and then I'll show you how you can recreate said demo. So here we're looking at the following. Imagine that you are an e-commerce company. You are selling various things. Here on the right, you can see how we're selling books, DVDs, and clothes. We're selling everything. And this is showing me how much I sold in a given time period. For this time around, I'm showing you for the year 2012 how I was doing. On the top left, what you see is a pie chart. This pie chart is showing us the relative size of these groups. So for example, with 21,000 sold units, that is 21,000 books. For DVDs, we're looking at 15,000, and for clothes, 14,000. Now, if I was a business exec, I would say, books, that's great, we're selling a lot of books. Shouldn't we just be selling books instead of DVDs and clothes? Those are the kinds of insights an executive would get from seeing this visualization, and that's why it's important that you're able to showcase charts in various shapes and forms and angles for an executive. On your bottom left, you are looking at another type of chart, a line chart. This is showing you the various values and how they relate to one another. If you didn't think the pie chart was visual enough, then this will be able to show you. Could also be interesting to showcase these values over time, so different ways that you can be showcasing your data. One important thing to have a look at though is, what does my source data look like? Well, let's have a look. Here I prepared this charts Excel file. In the charts Excel file, what I'm looking at here are a product column. I'm looking at the revenue columns for various years, 2012, 2013, and 2014. What you can see here is a data table. Now, for me to have this table at all, one thing that's really good to know about when it comes to Excel is that you need to prep your data so it's readily consumable in Power Platform. What does that mean? Imagine that you have these values and you want to create a table. For you to be able to use this in Power Platform, you need to format this as a data table. What does that mean? Well, if you select all the values like so, make sure that you're on the Home tab, make sure that you select this one, Format as a Table. So once you do that, Microsoft Excel and Power Platform will be able to recognize and say, hey, I'm actually dealing with a data table. Now going back into Power Platform, you see how I have a connection towards Excel Online. This connection is what enables me to showcase data. Let's see if I can refresh this. So let's say then I wanted to import some more data tables. How I would start off with things is by choosing a connector. There are many connectors to connect to Excel. I'm going to choose the one called Excel Online Business. Once I select that, I need to be choosing a data set. To choose a data set, I can, for example, go with OneDrive for Business, go with OneDrive, PowerApps, select Charts, and now you can see that now I not only have one table available, but two. And the reason I have two tables is because I created a new data table in a different sheet. I formatted that as a data table, which means that PowerApps is now able to recognize this secondary table. And here I'm giving the choice if I want to insert or update this data. How do I want to treat it? Because it needs a way for me to keep track of what's the unique column. So either it will create a auto-generated ID column for me, or it will use a unique column from the Excel table. I don't have the latter, which means I'm going to choose the former. So I connect this data, and now you can see that I have two sets of tables, two sets of table 3. What I can do is I can go into this stacked screen here and create a new screen so you can see how the data might look different. I have a secondary screen. Just want to go in and adjust this data a little bit for our benefits. I'm gonna change the years to 2020, 2021, and 2022 because these are sales from the last 3 years. Great, so how would I handle this? Well, one of the first things I want to do is to add a component. I hit the plus and I hit a column chart, for example. There are many different charts, but let's start with a column chart. This one is giving me some sample data, so this is not really from the Excel file. If I want the Excel file, I need to go in here, I need to select the portion here that has to do with the bars. And I go in here and I select properties and items. So here on your right, you are getting table 3 and table 3.1. I'm going to go with table 3.1, that's the one I just imported, and I will be able to see the different values displayed towards me. So here I can see books, DVDs, and clothes. So I can see the relative size, and as a business exec, I might say, hey, we're selling a ton of books. Maybe we should actually opt for just selling books. And I can adjust the chart title as well. So here I can call it sales 3 years back, so to provide some context. And here you can see how it is giving me revenue for 2012 specifically, which means what? If I wanted some other year than 2012, what do I do? Well, I can go in here and actually change the year. I hit a dot and you can see how 2013 as well as 2014 is available. So if I don't like the presented data, I can opt to change that. So now I'm changing it to 2013, and now you can see how the value is different, and I believe it's 26,000. So if you compare the two, we go in here again, and if we're not quite happy with 2013, then we can look at 2014 and so on. But remember how I went into Excel here and actually changed these values to 2020 and so on. I've actually selected the wrong table, which means I need to go into the data import. I can remove that. I don't need 2 table 3s, but I do need table 1. So I go in here, Excel Online. This time around we're looking at table 1 instead. So we'll have 1 table 3, 1 table 1, right? Just a few seconds now. Now it's saying table 1. That is great. And I changed this one to table 1. And this one isn't called revenue 2014 because now you're seeing how we're using this other table. So we're going to go with revenue 2020. So you can see exactly how that would be, and if you want to add more bars to this, you can always adjust the data source as needed. Also see how the powerapps ID, the unique column here, have created itself. This is not something that you need to be concerned with. This is just for trackability and traceability. If you want another type of chart, we can definitely add that. We have a whole chart menu here. We could do a PieChart as well. And as usual, when it comes to charts, it is showing me sample data. I can go into this one and change the items. So this time around, I'm looking at books, DVDs, and clothes. So yeah, for the sake of bringing some life to your applications, I would definitely recommend starting to have a look at charts, play around with various data sources, change them, update them, try out this type of chart, try a pie chart, try whatever chart, show the executives at your company. They will definitely enjoy the insight of how they could be displaying various data. So yeah, that was all for this video. Hopefully you found that this was interesting, that you now understand how do I bring in a data source, how can I connect various charts to my data source, and how can I thereby show the business insight needed for executives, for leadership at my company to be happy with the application that I am building. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you liked this video. I would love a like or comment, and definitely love a subscribe. So hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.